let me guide this. Today, I think, the spokesperson of INEC came out to do some sort of hatchet job, in my view, to say that this thing is not as the people take it. So what's your take, bearing in mind the story of MJ?
Well, MJ, whether she likes it or not, she has become one of the heroines of our democracy. Because what you've revealed here now changes the whole spectrum or trajectory of these 2023 elections.
Absolutely.
Your revelation has made it point blank that already the people in INEC, the characters in INEC, from their chairman down to whosoever is in charge of the IT, that they have rigged this process.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the Festus Okoye, who happens to be a lawyer, and who is the director of communications of INEC. Festus Okoye came and told Nigerians that no name has been added onto the voters list, that they are still weeding out, they are still... Now, but this young lady has just told us that her name, her data, her information is contained in the fraud that was released by the CUPP, which means Festus Okoye told Nigerians a white lie, a pure lie. INEC has already begun to add up names to the voters list, and Festus Okoye came out told us on a document prepared by INEC with INEC's letterhead that there has been no addition. And this young lady told us that within this period of registration of voters, that is when this fraud happened. So she has just exposed the whole fraud about these elections. And then what it now means is that we are dealing with a criminal organization in INEC. I mean, we have to be very, very frank in this issue. If we have a group that can manipulate people's data, that can steal people's data, make sure that there is a system in the computers that will knock you off before you complete, and then suddenly when something you started in Ibadan, you now find your name somewhere in Imo State, a state where probably MG has never visited, and she wouldn't have known if not for the grace, for the fact that the CUPP shared some of this data with us.
Yeah.
And INEC had it temerity. I mean, her own testimony is something else. But the fact that INEC came out and told Nigerians in writing, and that writing was after, according to Festus Okoye, that the board met, which means Professor Mahmoud Yahaya and his entire board met.
Yes.
And they brought out that nonsense of a document that no names have been added. And MJ, who participated in this process within this period, finds her name in Imo State. Come on. What are we in for? Now, the most annoying part is that you tell people that there will be elections, and young men, women, old people are coming out in their exuberance to register, spending time queuing, campaigning, having rallies, and you have already front-loaded scam names on the voters register. Then when you fix elections, we come out there and then we start seeing all kinds of results. Nigerians, this is a clarion call. This is a clarion call, and that's why I say the lady who has just reported this is a heroine of democracy at the status of even MKO Abiola. Because if not for her, most Nigerians have already begun to accept the nonsense Festus Okoye churned out. We were accepting it because yes, this was a public body that is being paid by taxpayers' money, and they have sworn to us and they've told us that they have not added any new names, but MJ's name is there, and her data is there. It's very frustrating. But then what do we do next? Because it's not just the cat or the milk or spilled. What Nigerians now have to do is to call the bluff of Mahmoud Yahaya, the INEC chairman, who goes about with glasses looking intelligent. We don't know if it's part of this scam, part of this fraud. Why he's part of this fraud is this, and I'm using this, I'm a lawyer, I'm using this with all sincerity. If Festus Okoye tells us that the board met before they churned out that nonsense, which they call the press release, to castigate CUPP, and basic lie is found in that document. That means the entire INEC board cannot be trusted. From Mahmoud Yahya and all his cohorts there cannot be trusted to conduct these elections. We should be calling for them to resign. They are a total disgrace to Nigeria. They should be ashamed of themselves. And these young men, these people go about collecting funds from the US, from the EU, under the pretext of having elections, and they just don't. They know that what they are preparing for is to scam Nigerians. And you see, the worrisome part is this: when you look at the countenance of somebody like the APC candidates, the vice presidential candidate of APC, Shetima, and his presidential candidate, they talk that they as if there is no election going to take place. When you listen to the governor of Imo State, he tells you, yes, you can do whatever, you can control the crowds, you can control the masses, but they will win. Now we know why they're talking that kind of nonsense. Mm-hmm. Because while you and I are joining the queue to Mr. Njenje, I know that the language we are using here, we have to be passionate. This is our country and we live here. So what we have to do is we have to call the bluff of these rascals, because they are rascals, if they think they can call Nigerians rascals. Because the highest insult you can give to Nigerians is to allow us to go and register, spend time on the queues, and then you've already put in millions of fake voters. And you come to lie to us with the INEC letterhead. So why will we trust or believe any further nonsense this INEC, headed by Mahmoud Yahya, and with this Festus Okoye coming out to trump rubbish on the media? When they have been caught, my dear lady, you are my hero, even my heroine, even if others don't appreciate you. We thank God for you. Because next they will come and try to rubbish you, but you've already come out and you've told the truth. You've told us what exactly happened, and your name is in the Imo State Registry. And Festus Okoye told us, INEC told us that they've not uploaded any names, and we're now seeing that there are names on that list. It's
now, as part of as part of what led to actually her discovering her name, let's hear again firsthand the press conference of CUPP and that address by Ikengimo, whom we've actually tried to reach to join us in this conversation, but sadly he was busy, which made it impossible for him to join us. Let's listen to him.
Okay.
Against female photos. Further, faces that are obviously quite old are seen with date of birth like 1990, 1993, 2000, 2002. You will also find obviously female names such as Rebecca, Jane, Gloria, Mary, Felicia against male photos, and also see photos of women wearing hijab yet answering village names in Omuma in thousands. I need to remember that Omuma is Noru East in Osu, where the activities of unknown gunmen is very high. An INEC office have been burnt. Male gender were assigned to female photos, and female gender assigned to male photos. What a shame for a party in power to be involved in this type of electoral treason. It is like that all over the states. In many polling units in Uguta, in Mbano, in Oru East, in Idato South, you will see similar things. You will see that it was passport photographs that were used to register majority of the names found in the register. In words like Obiohia is important for you to note here. There is new polling units in Obiohia where they have the health centers and the Mumebe Manumo, all are contained here. The entire new polling unit, scanned passport photos were used for the registration, including burial pictures. You will see them. They even snapped it from the frame with no shame. It wasn't even a professional work. So, in words like Obiohia in Idato South, in Isekenesi 1 to all in Idato South, you will find the scanning of passport photos and pictures from brochures with which registration was done. And all of you remember that the big bus captures the picture of the person it is registered. So how come people had access to the password and were able to upload passport photos and burial pictures and created names for them to be registered? It is like that, statewide and nationwide, in almost the 22 APC control states. It is very obvious from the register that these were not captured human faces, but photos that were captured and uploaded to the register with fake names and fake biometrics. At this juncture, it is right to ask some questions to the APC, the presidency, and security agencies. Who generated these photos and these foreign names, whose real identities are exposed when you search them from the Google? How did their agents and those behind this monumental fraud get access to the INEC machine with which they committed this heinous crime? How did this person have access into the INEC database to be able to upload these fake identities, particularly where many of them are discovered to be in the new polling unit created by INEC? Furthermore, gentlemen, the coordinator of the illegal registration in Imo State, for instance, was a former INEC staff who was the head of the State Electoral Commission and who has now been promoted to a resident electoral commissioner nominee. She supervised.
Now, I come back here as a Lucia before I go back to Njenje. This is your state.
Yes.
If you watch carefully what was said here, in one of the newly created polling units, or rather even an old polling unit that had about 6,000 or thereabout, suddenly ballooned into 44,000.
Yes.
In an area that he emphasizes his, controlled by unknown gunmen, that people are scared to come out. Suddenly, how did this magic happen? Is it the magic of Supreme Court of Hope Uzodinma that they are planning for Nigeria? I mean, something is not right here.
Well, the fact is this. If you look at even the INEC's list of those who collected PVCs and where these things were distributed, states like Zamfara, Borno, Yobe, Katsina, where well over 60% or more of those states and those areas are in the control of bandits, recorded nearly 100% distribution of PVCs, collection of everything. You now wonder, just like in Nomoma, where the residents there cannot even host traditional weddings. They don't go to church services in Nomoma again because of the violence going on there. That is the area where you have over 40,000 people coming to register. But in areas where you have populations, where you have human beings, there will be no machines to record, to register people. They will come there 100 times and then go. Then in a place like where there was some shooting in Imo State, I think Mbano area, the INEC closed down the polling centers, the registration centers, closed it indefinitely, that there was a shooting and somebody was killed. But in states like Katsina, Zamfara, Borno, where killings are going on every day and kidnappings are going on, INEC, this same INEC, headed by Mahmoud Yahya, was able to distribute 5 million cards in Borno State, in Zamfara State. It's all nonsense. That's the bottom line. It's all pure nonsense. These things have been inflated and the elections have been cooked. The fact is, we cannot trust these characters who have lied in writing to Nigerians. I mean, MJ came and affirmed, because First Okoye told us there is no new body, nobody has been added to the voters list. How did MJ's name come in Imo State? Was it a spiritual work? So what he mentioned about Muma is not just Muma. Muma is even just one word, where 40,000 extra spurious names. Talk about where they added millions. In Borno State, more than half of the population lives in ID camps in Maiduguri. So all those areas, Gabarungala and Co., where they record millions, where are the people there? Nobody's there. Soldiers can't even go there. But INEC's spiritual registration officials can go there and distribute PVCs, and we're supposed to clap for Mahmoud Yahya when he comes and tells Nigerians nonsense. We should begin to demand that these characters should step aside and tell the international community, stop wasting your funds on these crime-prone officials who are liars, who have no integrity whatsoever. You know the problem with these guys? When they wear these, they are fine-looking spectacles. They look intelligent. We saw the same thing with Jega, Professor Jega, who did all the kind of rigmarole with elections. Now Mahmoud Yahya has come again, professor of whatever, I don't know what he's a professor in, but we have already seen the handwriting on the wall, and we should not wait until when these same characters begin to reel out nonsense in the names of results. They have destroyed the trust Nigerians ever had in them, They have lied to us that they never uploaded any names already under this registration era, and we have found those to be lies. They have claimed that they have distributed PVCs where there are no human beings, and refused to distribute these same PVCs to where actual intended voters have come to register. And when every time they publish this nice looking statistics, so many millions have collected in Zamfara, so many millions have collected in Borno. Where are they? Where are those people there? Even the governor cannot step outside the state capital without maximum security, and INEC is distributing PVCs in those areas. They should stop telling fooling Nigerians.
Thank you.
Like the last speaker just said, the system has been corrupted. Virtually every facet of the Nigerian polity has been corrupted, and even if you go to court, like I said, and I was very, very real with that, you applied to court, and next you hear that adjournment till January. The Kenyans just had an election, and the final determination of the judicial process took place within 20 days, and it was all over. But in Nigeria, you see a case like this that should be handled and finished within 1 week, then silly motions from nowhere will crop up, and I'm saying this as a lawyer, the senior lawyer for that, but silly motions will be used, and then everything will be muddled up. So we have to think outside the box. These characters feel that because we are afraid of the military coming in, then we can lie low, and then they get away with blue murder. Which military are we talking about? Is it the same military that cannot contend with bandits and terrorists? The day Nigerians decide that enough of this nonsense, there will be enough of the nonsense. And then whatever they bring, with Nigerians will be able to stand for it. Look at the masses. All over the country, you see Nigerians coming out on the streets determined to effect a change. And are we to, because of the fear of some soldiers with guns? When the time comes, they'll see that guns are everywhere. But we just hope it doesn't get to that level. We hope that these current characters that are manning INEC, and I'm talking from the chairman, Mahmoud Yahaya, Professor Sokoye, who came and lied to Nigerians in writing and on TV, they should please carry their bags and get the hell out of the INEC secretary, because they have proved that they're incapable of conducting free and fair elections. Let others come in and come into that office and cleanse the stable, and Nigerians can still have an election and it will hold. And my appeal rather is to the international community, the European Union, the British High Commission, the United States, USAID, International Republican Institute, and even the Nigerian civil society groups, Transition Monitoring Group, Situation Room. All these groups try to monitor INEC. They know some of these crimes are being committed. They should be able to come out and say, look, enough of all this nonsense. Enough is enough. But unfortunately, the Nigerian civil society bodies are almost lukewarm. They are waiting for the next grant to become monitors and observers. The foreign observers are just waiting for INEC to come and reel out results. Despite this monumental fraud, the greatest fraud in this process is that the voters register has been muddled up. What else are you going to register? Are you going to vote on? If they can do this, if somebody can put in passport pictures, you didn't do any fingerprinting, you didn't do any biometrics, your common passport burial posters are there on the INEC register. Who told us that these names cannot be pre-accredited or cannot pre-vote? So that by the time you even go to vote, the results would have already been announced in the INEC Secretariat in Abuja. What I'm appealing to Nigerians is, rather than wasting time demonstrating, doing rallies around to support candidates, let us call INEC to order and say, look, we do not have confidence in any elections this same crop of officials at INEC will conduct. They should leave the place. Let us have fresh blood, and then we'll hope that these fresh people that will be on board will be people of integrity. And then we'll have to have elections under those terms. But as for Mahmoud Yakubu and his gang in INEC to conduct peaceful elections with this scam that we are lucky to get them red-handed, come on. Like we say in Pidgin, first fool, no be fool. Now second fool, I be proper fool. If we fall for these guys' antics again, then we might as well close shop. And then tie chains on our neck and hand over to whoever wants to come and take the chain away. We would have enslaved ourselves. So now we've got them. There's no need to even procrastinate. This is where the whole thing stops. Let us have a credible voter register and not come and collect PVC, come and what all those agenda. When you have already rigged the whole process by this sham, what all those other things come and collect by January, those things are nonsense.
You know,
and mind you, yes, this same government has already planted several other booby traps. Okay, go ahead.
You know, when you do the application online, they would always tell you that you have to come in for biometrics.
Yes.
Even in bank, I know if you go to, I think, PiggyVest, Kuda Bank or whatever, you can actually open an account within 5 minutes.
Online.
You upload your details, your driver's license or your international passport.
BVN.
Then it takes your photo in multiple, like an oval stuff. You have to do your facials. But here, INEC will not allow you to do same, to use technology to do that. However, on the screen here, you can see very stupidly and idiotically done. You see them just putting a passport photo. Just putting a passport photo on the ground and snapping it without even cropping it in any way. You can see from your top right second, you see these are people, the passport photograph bent. Some of them, you can see them from magazines. Left, bottom, you can see them taken from magazines. And you're like, what manner of a nation? Who does this? And at the same time, they want to use this to conduct election. In what country does this happen? Where
they know we'll be afraid of coups.
Born in 1914.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. The more the more you go through this data, the more upsetting it actually is. That something like this is incredible. This is, it's probably the annoying part here. Sorry, not that one supports evil and crime, but the crime is even idiotic. It's not even, no atom of smartness was even
no finesse. Yes,
it's just like done in a hurry. Anyway, people will be rounding up. I'll take your final word. So let me start.